Does everyone agree? Put your hands up. Anyone does not agree? Thank you. Now, first of all, thank you for being here tonight. Give yourself a huge round of applause. Really, from the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank you all for being here tonight. You being here is actually fulfilling my passion of being a speaker and a trainer. Thank you for being here tonight. So are we going to start now? Now, we live in a 4-dimension. In a 4 what? Dimension. Are you able to see that?
Yes.
So we have here physical. Say it with me.
Physical.
Mental.
Mental.
Emotional.
Emotional.
Spiritual.
Spiritual.
So 4 dimensions. So physical, the easiest way for me to explain that is physical, that we can see. Right? I can see you, I can see you. I raise my hand, I can see you. It's like an action, it's like a result at the end. For example, if someone were to slap another individual, that's a physical, you can see that. But what's going underneath that, we cannot see. Why is that person doing that? We don't know. Right? Are you with me? Hello?
Yes.
Good, thank you. Next one is mental. Mental is what's going inside somebody's head. Can we see that? Yes or no?
No.
No, we cannot see that. Even the person next to you, they might seem happy, but they might be going through a mental health problem. We don't know. That's unseen. We don't know that. Emotion. Can we see emotion? Yes or no? The person can be pulling a fake smile. We wouldn't know, right? We don't know, unless that's happening to yourself, because some emotion are so deeply rooted, like negative emotion, we don't even aware of, which is why I'm doing this session tonight. We bring it into awareness. Emotion, that's unseen. We don't see that. Next, last one is spiritual. Spiritual is about spiritual connection. You may have with your creator, with your partner, with your parent, with your children, or your dog and cats. So it's like it's something to do with love. And believe me, we all need that connection. Now, would you agree with me that this 3 here is all unseen and it actually manifests into your physical being? Yes or yes, guys?
Yes.
Yes, it manifests. So we might not see what's happening from inside, but the result will actually manifest, the physical result, which is what we can see. For example, if your life is going amazing right now, that means actually we live in 2 different worlds. One, inner world and outer world. Say it with me. Inner world, and
Outer world. Inner world. Outer world.
This is inner world, mental, emotional, spiritual stuff that we cannot see. Yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, if your life is going amazingly beautiful now, that means your inner world is what? Balance. Yes?
Yes.
However, if your life is not going as you want it to be, that means your inner world is actually imbalance. Yes?
Yes.
Now, the thing that I want to focus more on tonight is emotion. It is what?
Emotion.
Because there's a lot of stuff about mental. You can read a lot of articles about mental health. There's a lot of spiritual. You can go to a meditation course where they will teach you about how to connect with yourself. But there's very few stuff about emotion. People don't like talking about emotion for some reason. They like to put it in. But actually that's not very good for you, because what does emotion mean? So emotion means it into motion. It has to flow. It has to flow. For example, a river, where it flows with water, what happens? The water is clean. You can actually drink from it. But what happens when that water got, how do you call that got stuck somewhere. Now we got bacteria that stuck into that water. Can we drink that water? Yes or no? No, it's unhealthy. Similarly, our emotion, our negative emotion, we've got to let that out. It's got to flow. It's got to flow. Yes or yes? Yes, thank you. Now, with men, we are very good at letting go of our emotion. Right?
No.
Not all of us. Obviously, not all of us. Like, for example, if you're driving your car and someone cut in front of you, and then you went, right? We forget about the next moment, we don't know what happened. No, just, it happened. But women, on the other hand, not all women, some of us, no, certainly not young, I don't want to be in trouble, tend to hold on emotion a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I need to take that. Yeah. Which remind me a story of a couple, a husband and a wife. The husband come back from work, and he opened the door, the wife is there, and he can sense that something is not going on right here. Honey, are you okay? Honey, are you okay? No answer. You remember last year? You said this and that. Meanwhile, the guy doesn't even remember what he had for breakfast. So that emotion has been kept on for days, even years. Now, in all seriousness, the emotion that I want to focus on tonight, it's anger. Because that's the most detrimental, the emotion that destroys us the most. And sometimes we don't even know that we've got that anger. There is this saying that goes like this. Holding on to emotion, holding on to anger, is like drinking poison and expecting that other person to die. Let me say that again. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Now, meanwhile, you know that it's affecting yourself. Yes, but meanwhile, the other person doesn't even know that you're angry. Doesn't know. And sometimes you don't even know yourself that you're angry. And we are a very emotional being. Would you agree? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Yeah. We're very emotional being. We go shopping, we buy out of emotion, we do decisions that we make based out of emotion. Now, if that emotion, that anger is coming out of emotion, it's going to make you self-sabotage your own success. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is why I've got you agreement at the very beginning of the talk that we're going to go a little bit deeper tonight. Do we still have this agreement? Yes. Thank you. I'm from Mauritius, and growing back home in Mauritius, when I was about 8 years old, I was coming, there was a lot of fighting going on in my house with my mom and dad. And one day, coming back home, I was looking for my mom because I wanted to show her my report, and I couldn't find her anywhere. Mom, where are you? I couldn't find her. I didn't know what was happening. I can sense something was supposed to be going right. Then I went like, Dad, where's Mom? Leave me alone! Then after that, I knew, I learned it from someone else, that my mom and dad, they got split. They got divorced. And at that point, I was 8, I went to live with my grandmother. I didn't know what was happening, but inside me, I didn't know at that time, inside me, I hated my mom. I hated my mother. Why did you leave me? Particularly my mother. I hated her so much. I had so much anger toward her that inside me I said, I'm going to prove myself. I'm going to prove myself to you. You left me, I'm going to be a successful person. And that decision was coming out of anger. Now I left Mauritius when I was 18. I left I lived from 8 to 18. I lived in my grandmother. Now I came to UK. At the beginning, life was doing good. I had a property. I bought a flat in London, 25. Life was great. It was successful. But at some point in my life, things going downhill. Started losing money. Went through bankruptcy. Didn't know what was happening because the decision I was making was made out of negative emotion, something that I didn't understand at that time. And then when I learned about the inner world and the outer world, how your inner world, your own emotion can self-sabotage yourself, I've learned about it. And I implement it. Now, I have a good relationship with my mother. So, in a moment, what I want you all to do, I've got your agreement. I want you all to close your eyes for a moment. Put everything down. You've got something on your lap. Just put everything down. And close your eyes for a moment. Now think of a person that you are angry about, you're really angry about. It could be a sibling, a parent, or even a friend, any human being that you're really angry about. It could be as recent as yesterday. Or if you think that you're not angry about anyone, if you were to be angry, who would that person be? Now I want you to feel that emotion in your stomach. Make it wider. Feel that anger. Now put it back, raise it up to your stomach. Now at this point, we are all human. If you're feeling like you want to cry, that's absolutely fine, that's okay. Now I want you, in a moment, when I ask you to open your eyes, I will ask you to write this exact thing in your own perspective. Everything that happened, the person that you're angry about, why you're angry about, and everything in your perspective. You write it as in, I am angry because of this and that and this, what you did to me. Now, you said to me that you're going to play full out. Now, this is the moment that I want you to play 1000%. In a moment when I ask you to open your eyes, I've got some paper and pen. I'm going to ask you to write the exact story, what's happening inside of you right now. At the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Open your eyes. Now go ahead and write what the story that is happening in your head. I've got some paper if you want some papers. I've got some pens as well. Anyone need a paper? Write down the emotions, why you're angry. Can you time it 2 minutes, please? and you're writing in your perspective what happened. Why are you angry? Why were you angry? Or why are you still angry? What happened in your perspective? Start finishing up. So you can finish that actually. Now that the whole perspective of this exercise is that to bring that anger into awareness. So you can, I hope that you've got something, and now, because most people, we don't know why we're angry, so I hope that you've done that. The next exercise is extremely, very, very powerful, and fortunately I don't have enough time to go through that. The whole process is about 3.5 hours, and I will only have like 25 minutes to cut down, not make it shorter, unfortunately. But however, as you can see, this is my passion, this is what I want, this is my message to the world. This is my message to the world I want to give. And I'm planning to do an event in the near future. If you're interested, it's a whole day event. Or if you know someone that might be interested, let me know. Does anyone be interested in the event for whole day about emotion, letting go? Thank you. If you are interested, let me know. It's something I wanted to do in the future. But for now, I think I have about 5 minutes left. Is that correct? I will use that as a question and answer session now. If you have any question regarding the speech or any comment you want to make, that's fine. And if you want to share what you wrote down, you don't have to, but I'm willing to listen. That's absolutely okay, right? If you can just put your hands up, and I will choose if there's any question. Yes, sir. Could you please?
So, good exercise for me today because somebody made me really angry. But I wrote it down. What am I going to do with the stuff I wrote down? Is there next exercise now?
Yeah, this is what I was actually, I'm planning to do because I don't have enough time. But what you could do now, because you've got that awareness, right? And the person you're angry about, the next step is to forgive them for you to actually move on in your life. That will be the next process, the long process. I don't have time to do that. But as long as now you've got that awareness, so you can try and forgive that person. There's a lot of process. I hope that answers the question. So, any question? Any comment you want to make? Thing that you didn't even like about the speech? That's fine. Absolutely okay. Anyone?
I have a comment.
Yes.
When you said to bring emotion to our stomach or this area, I really feel that. And
Yeah.
it's quite intense and
Yeah.
painful.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting experience.
Thank you. Thank you for your. Anyone else? Yes, Mark.
You don't have to share this, but I'm just curious because you told this moving story of your mother.
Yeah.
I'm just curious what steps you went to and how you reconcile with each other.
Oh, thank you for the question. Actually, the program that I did about 10 years ago, it's about 3 days program where we went deep inside the whole emotion issue. I wasn't actually aware of what was happening in my anger with my mom until I done that last 10 years ago. And I realized, so there is a whole sort of 3 days process to that, which I don't like. The next one would be forgiveness and to try to talk to the person and to see the whole event in their perspective. That's very powerful as well. Because what I asked you guys to write in your perspective, right? Because when we see things, it's our perspective, right? We have two perspectives, yes or yes, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
The person might be going through, for example, in my example, my mother, she was having an abusive relationship. I didn't know that at the time. I knew it, but I didn't pay that attention. As a child, you don't kind of don't notice. And then when I see things from her perspective after doing the exercise, I actually find out that she was not a bad mother at all. She was actually looking out for herself and for me. She came back to come and visit me every month, every week, making sure I was safe. But it was stuff that happening in my head, in myself, that was destroying my own myself. So the next step would be seeing things at their perspective and also trying to forgive that person and move on. Do we have another question?
So when you say forgiveness, are you like saying specifically welcome that person back into your life? Like, I forgive you for the action that you did that upset me,
No,
etc. Or just forgiveness within yourself and then potentially moving on from that? Releasing the action?
Depending on the event, you forgive for you to move on, not for the person, for you. Because remember, it's about you. Because that emotion, that negative emotion, the person, my mom didn't know I had that emotion. She didn't know that was going in my head, in me. So when you forgive that person, it's about you, not that person. Right? Do we have any other question, comment? Oh yes.
You mentioned about a point in your life which made you reflect on what had happened and make a change, whether it's like your financial situation or your relationships or something like that. What was the turning point for you to make the change in your life?
What was the turning point?
Yeah.
So even after going, once I was aware of what was happening, of my negative emotion, even that, it didn't just suddenly magically happen. It was a while. So for me, to see that damage was already done in the past, and I knew that there was a reason why things was not going as well as I predicted. I knew that I had to make that decision. Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Any other question? One more? Do we have time? Sorry, I don't have time. So just to make, I'm going to ask you for a favor. If you please give me some feedback as how you felt that session make you feel, because this is I want to do an event, so I want to, I need some feedback from you guys, right? And thank you all for listening. Thank you.